This is Matt Russell, and welcome to the DailyFX Forum.
So welcome to the DailyFX Forum highlights video for 10 p.m. on November 3rd. Just going to jump right into the forums here and discuss the latest activity here on the Euro-Dollar thread. Jeremy Wagner posted something here about scalping in news. I'll just read a little bit of his post here. With a heavy slate of news releases like we have this week, many times the market will trade quietly ahead and in between the release as big money chooses not to commit to new positions. I agree with Jeremy, and here's a 5-minute scalping trade possibility as prices do break beneath the very short-term support line and could test the opposite side on the opposite side, it could act as resistance. But again, with short-term trading, you want to keep the risk very tight, your stops very tight. And with short-term trading, you have to be able to abandon your analysis, in a moment's notice. You always have to expect you're going to be wrong. I'm going to post a video that I created the other night on a pre-release news trading strategy, with which some of you might be interested in. So you can certainly check that out. The next thread that I wanted to go speak about is the Euro-Pound thread, and Brad, actually it's not the Euro, there is no Euro-Pound thread, it's the Fibonacci thread, and Brad 1199 had a great post, and he posted his trade idea from the previous night, and we can see the prices are adhering to his analysis. And if we go down here to Greg McLeod, he posted here a possibility of a double top here on the hourly at the 38.2 fib, which could indicate further losses. And also here is the daily chart, and these are the levels that I'm using off the daily chart. I figure going into the NFP release on Friday, the market could be pretty quiet, and I would assume, and it's not, I'm not taking a huge bet here, that prices would be contained by these two price levels here. With this being the pound-dollar thread, I wanted to go ahead and bring up the pound-dollar chart, tell you what I'm looking at. And if you recall, during yesterday's one of yesterday's highlight videos, excuse me, I ran over a possible scenario as prices could be forming a head and shoulder here, a very loose head and shoulder pattern. I mentioned about right here how we might look for prices to come down to the support line, where we might look to enter and then exit, as prices, this price level here might act as a magnet if the market continues to carve out a very symmetric pattern, which often is the case. And you can see the prices did close beneath that support line. Again, personally, I don't trade the pound, but I love being wrong. Being wrong, you have to learn how to be wrong. You have to learn how to be wrong successfully. So I just want to go through how I personally would have handled this situation here. I probably would have entered as prices came down and tested this line, and then I would have been stopped out with anywhere from a 20 to 40 pip loss. And I can't impart to you the importance of a trade like that. And it's always, one of the things that I tell the new students on the course is that if you can go out there, open up a demo account, and if you can make 10 trades and not lose more than, let's say, 50 pips on any of those 10 trades, you are well on your way to becoming a successful trader. Your analysis will improve with time, but the most important thing, what should be very mechanical, is your risk parameters when you enter the trade, and just adhering to your stops that you decided on before you entered that trade. With that being said, moving forward, what I would gather from this chart, looking at it, and with the NFP coming up on Friday, that prices would be contained within this range here, this low price point here, about the 60, let me get the exact print for you, about the 62.60 area, and then the upside here, which would be that head and shoulder pattern that I was speaking about yesterday, the upside here about 64.75. And again, I like this head pattern here. This looks like a little bit of an island gap, or as close as you can get to an island gap in the foreign exchange market on an hourly chart, especially with continuous price action. So that's what I'm looking for moving forward. And again, this is just a generalized idea. I personally don't trade the pound dollar, but that is what I would be looking for. And in fact, if prices do come down and test this support line again, I would keep this line up, even though we have some serious penetration here, and look for this area to act as support right now near that 163.50 area. But I wouldn't expect any major moves, and I realize that it's not a huge call here calling for prices to stay within a 250 pip range, but certainly going into the release, it's a good environment for shorter term traders trying to make 20 pips here, maybe 40 pips there, with relatively tight stops. Again, this is Matt Russell. Thanks for listening.